Stop filling your head with noise you cannot use. Stop drowning in a sea of worries, regrets, and endless loops of thought that lead nowhere. Right now, if you are honest with yourself, your mind is not your servant, it is your master. And that master is running you into the ground, stealing your peace, your clarity, and your power to act with purpose. Most people carry around a mental burden so heavy it crushes their potential before they even begin. They wake up exhausted not from labor, but from a mind that never rests. They go to bed replaying failures, imagining disasters, rehearsing arguments that will never happen. This is not living. This is slow suffocation. And if you do not learn to empty your mind, to clear the clutter, and reclaim the space between your ears, you will always be a prisoner of your own thinking. The truth is simple and unforgiving. A cluttered mind cannot focus. A noisy mind cannot hear wisdom. A crowded mind cannot receive new ideas, cannot see opportunities, cannot feel peace. You have been taught to gather information, to accumulate knowledge, to hold on to every thought as if it were precious. But no one taught you the most vital skill of all, how to let go, how to release the grip of endless mental chatter, how to empty the vessel so it can be filled with what truly matters. This is not about becoming thoughtless or dull. It is about becoming clear, sharp, directed. The empty mind is not a blank mind. It is a ready mind, a mind that can act without hesitation, think without confusion, and rest without torment. The greatest thinkers, leaders, and creators in history understood this secret. They did not achieve greatness by thinking more. They achieved it by thinking with precision and then letting go. They knew when to engage and when to release. They mastered the art of mental silence, not because they lacked ideas, but because they valued clarity above noise. You must understand that your mind was never designed to hold everything at once. It is not a storage room, it is a workshop. And a workshop filled with clutter cannot produce anything of value. Every worry you cling to takes up space that could be used for creation. Every grudge you nurse steals energy that could fuel your next step forward. Every fear you replay robs you of the courage to act. If you want to reclaim your power, you must first reclaim your mind, and that begins with learning to empty it. This is not a passive process. You cannot simply wish the noise away. It requires discipline, intention, and daily practice. You must become the gatekeeper of your thoughts, deciding what enters and what is expelled. Most people have never done this. They have allowed their minds to become public squares, open to every worry, every criticism, every piece of bad news that wanders in. No more. From this moment forward, you will guard your mental space with the same vigilance you would guard your home. The first step to emptying your mind is to recognize how full it has become. Take an honest inventory. What thoughts run through your head the moment you wake? What fears keep you awake at night? What regrets do you replay again and again, even though the past cannot be changed? What imaginary conversations consume hours of your mental energy? Most people have never paused to examine the contents of their own minds. They are so accustomed to the noise they no longer notice it. But you must notice it. You must drag every useless thought into the light and ask a hard question. Does this serve me? If the answer is no, it must go. There is no room for sentiment here. Your mental clarity is worth more than your attachment to old grievances, to worries about things you cannot control, to fantasies that distract you from the work at hand. You must become ruthless, not cruel, but honest. Recognize that holding on to mental clutter is not a sign of wisdom. It is a sign of weakness. The strong mind is the one that can release what does not serve it. The weak mind clings to every thought, every fear, every resentment, until it collapses under the weight. Which will you be? Now, understand that emptying the mind is not about suppression. You do not push down your thoughts or pretend they do not exist. That only makes them stronger, more insistent, more likely to erupt when you least expect it. Instead, you acknowledge them. You see them for what they are, passing clouds in a vast sky. Your mind is the sky. The thoughts are the clouds. They come, they go. You do not have to hold on to them. You do not have to chase them. You simply observe and let them pass. This is a skill that must be trained. At first, your mind will resist. It has been in control for so long that it will fight for dominance. But with practice, with patience, with daily effort, you will learn to watch your thoughts without being swept away by them. You will learn to create space, to breathe, to experience moments of true stillness. In that stillness, you will find a power you have never known, a calm that does not depend on circumstances, a clarity that cuts through confusion like a blade. This is the prize for those who master the art of the empty mind. Most people will never claim it because they are not willing to do the work. They prefer the familiar noise to the unfamiliar silence. They would rather be busy than be still. But you are not most people. You are here because you are ready to rise above the average. You are ready to take control. You are ready to empty your mind and fill your life with purpose, peace, and power. Let us be clear about one thing. An empty mind is not a weak mind. It is the opposite. The mind that can empty itself at will is the strongest mind of all. Consider the warrior before battle. If his head is full of fear, doubt, and distraction, he is already defeated. But if he can empty his mind, if he can become present, focused, and calm, he becomes unstoppable. The same is true in every area of life. The business leader who can clear her mind makes better decisions. The artist who can silence the inner critic creates without hesitation. The parent who can let go of the day's stress is fully present for their family. The student who can empty the noise absorbs lessons with ease. This is not theory. This is proven by every great achiever throughout history. They mastered the inner game before they conquered the outer world. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can control what happens within you. And that control begins with the ability to empty your mind of all that does not serve your highest purpose. Begin with the breath. It sounds simple because it is. But do not confuse simplicity with weakness. The breath is your anchor to the present moment. When your mind races into the past or the future, your breath brings you back. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Draw a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a moment. Then release it slowly through your mouth. As you exhale, let go of tension. Let go of thought. Let go of the need to be anywhere but here, right now. Repeat this again and again. At first, your mind will wander. It will bring up worries, plans, memories. Do not fight them. Simply notice them and return to the breath. This is the practice. Not perfection, but persistence. With each session, you are training your mind to obey your command. You are building the muscle of mental stillness. Over time, you will find that you can enter this state of calm more quickly, more easily, more deeply. The noise will fade. The clutter will clear. And in that space, you will discover something remarkable. Yourself, not the self buried under layers of anxiety and distraction. The real self, the self that knows what to do, the self that is connected to something greater than the endless chatter. This is the self that achieves, that creates, that leads, and it can only be found in the silence. You have been living on the surface of your own mind, tossed by waves of thought, never sinking into the depths. It is time to go deeper. It is time to empty the surface so you can access the power beneath. This is not a luxury. It is a necessity. If you want to reach your potential, if you want to live with clarity and purpose, you must learn to empty your mind. There is no shortcut. There is no substitute. The work must be done, and it must be done by you. Understand now the danger of a mind that is never still. The mind that runs constantly is like an engine that never stops. Eventually, it burns out. Anxiety, exhaustion, poor decisions, broken relationships. These are the symptoms of a mind that cannot rest. You see them everywhere. People rushing through life, chasing distractions, unable to sit with themselves for even a moment. They fill every silence with noise because they are afraid of what they might hear in the quiet. But the quiet is not your enemy, it is your teacher. It is in silence that you hear your own truth. It is in stillness that you find your direction. If you never empty your mind, you will never know who you really are or what you really want. You will be driven by impulses, by the opinions of others, by fears that were planted in you long ago. This is no way to live. This is a life of reaction, not creation. A life of noise, not signal. You must choose differently. You must choose to make emptiness a priority, not an afterthought. Set aside time each day, even if it is only a few minutes, to sit in silence, to let go, to empty. Do not fill this time with goals or expectations. Just be. At first, it will feel strange, even uncomfortable. Your mind will rebel. It will tell you this is a waste of time, that you have too much to do, that stillness is laziness. Ignore it. These are the protests of a mind that fears losing control. But you are not giving up control. You are taking it back. You are declaring that you, not your thoughts, are the master of your inner world. Over time, this practice will transform you. You will become calmer, clearer, more decisive. You will notice that problems which once seemed overwhelming are now manageable. You will find that creativity flows more freely, that ideas come more easily, that you can focus with an intensity you never thought possible. This is the power of the empty mind. Not emptiness as absence, but emptiness as potential. The cup that is full cannot receive anything new. The cup that is empty can be filled with whatever you choose. Your mind is that cup. Empty it, and you open yourself to wisdom, to inspiration, to the guidance that can only be heard in silence. The noise of the world will always be there. The demands, the distractions, the endless stream of information, you cannot stop it. But you can choose not to carry it with you everywhere you go. You can choose to set it down, to walk away, to empty your hands and your mind so that you are ready for what truly matters. This is freedom. Not freedom from responsibility, but freedom from the tyranny of a mind that never rests. Claim this freedom. It is your birthright. But it will not be given to you. It must be earned. One breath, one moment, one choice at a time. Begin today. Many will tell you that to succeed you must always be thinking, planning, strategizing. They are wrong. The greatest breakthroughs do not come from a mind that is constantly churning. They come from a mind that knows when to stop. Genius is not found in endless activity. It is found in the pause, in the space between thoughts, in the silence where insight can finally be heard. You have experienced this even if you did not recognize it at the time. The solution that came to you in the shower, the idea that arrived while you were walking, not working, the clarity that emerged after you finally stopped trying so hard. These were not accidents. They were the fruits of a mind that, even for a moment, was empty enough to receive. If you want more of these moments, you must create more space for them. You must stop filling every second with noise and motion. You must trust that stillness is not wasted time. It is the most productive time of all. This is counterintuitive to everything the world teaches. The world worships busyness. It rewards those who are always on, always connected, always doing. But look around. Are the busiest people the happiest? Are they the most creative, the most fulfilled? Or are they the most burned out, the most anxious, the most disconnected from what truly matters? You know the answer. Busyness is not a badge of honor. It is often a mask for fear. Fear of what would happen if you stopped. Fear of what you might discover in the silence. Fear that without constant motion you might have to face yourself. But you must face yourself. You must be willing to sit in the quiet and let whatever arises arise. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable. Old pain, buried fears, unfinished business. Let it come. This is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are finally doing the work. The mind holds on to these things because they were never processed, never released, never allowed to pass. When you empty your mind, you create the space for healing. You allow the old to leave so the new can enter. This is not easy work, but it is the most important work you will ever do. Without it, you will spend your life running from yourself, filling every gap with distraction, never knowing the peace that comes from true inner stillness. The empty mind is not a destination. It is a practice. You do not arrive and stay. You return again and again, each time deepening your ability to let go. Some days will be easier than others. Some sessions will feel like battles. But every time you show up, every time you sit in the silence, you are building something. You are building the foundation of a life that is not controlled by chaos, by noise, by the endless chatter that drowns out your own voice. You are building mastery. The world is loud, and it wants you loud with it. It wants your attention scattered, your energy drained, your mind so full of distractions that you never have a moment to question where your life is going. This is not an accident. A distracted population is an easy population to control. But you are not here to be controlled. You are here to take command, and that begins with taking command of your own mind. To empty your mind, you must first become aware of what fills it. Pay attention, without judgment, to the stream of thoughts that flows through you. You will notice patterns, recurring worries, repeated stories, familiar fears. These are the grooves your mind has worn over years of unchecked thinking. They feel natural, but they are not inevitable. They can be changed, but only if you see them. Only if you bring the light of awareness to the shadows of your mind. This is not about blaming yourself for your thoughts. It is about recognizing that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. The thoughts come and go. The awareness remains. When you identify with the awareness rather than the thoughts, you gain distance. You gain perspective. You gain the ability to choose which thoughts to engage and which to release. This is true power. Not the power to control the world, but the power to control yourself. And from that inner control, everything else flows. The person who cannot master their own mind will always be at the mercy of circumstance. The person who can empty their mind at will is the master of their own destiny. Do not underestimate the challenge ahead. The mind is a formidable opponent. It has had years to build its habits, its defenses, its patterns of thought. It will not surrender easily. But you are stronger. You are more determined. You are willing to do what most will not. That willingness is your edge. Every great achievement begins with a single decision. Decide now that you will no longer be a slave to mental noise. Decide that you will take back your mind, piece by piece, thought by thought, breath by breath. The journey will not be quick, but every step forward is a victory. Every moment of stillness is a triumph over chaos. And in the end, you will have something that cannot be taken from you. A mind that is clear, calm, and ready for anything. This is the foundation of all success. This is the secret that separates the average from the extraordinary. An empty mind is not a sign of ignorance. It is the mark of mastery. The masters of old knew this. They spent years in silence, not because they had nothing to think about, but because they understood that true wisdom comes from emptiness, not fullness. You do not need to retreat to a mountain or abandon your responsibilities. You only need to carve out moments of stillness in your daily life. Small pockets of quiet where you can return to yourself, empty the noise, and remember who you are. Let us address the fears that keep most people from ever attempting to empty their minds. The first fear is this: if I empty my mind, I will lose my edge. I will become passive, weak, unable to compete in a demanding world. This is a lie born from misunderstanding. The empty mind is not the passive mind. It is the ready mind. The warrior who empties his mind before battle is not less dangerous. He is more dangerous. He is free from hesitation, free from doubt, free from the paralysis that comes from overthinking. He acts with precision because there is nothing clouding his vision. The same is true for you in your work, your relationships, your ambitions. When your mind is cluttered, you second-guess every decision. You hesitate when you should act. You are distracted when you should be focused. But when your mind is empty, you move with clarity. You see the path and you take it. You become more effective, not less. The second fear is that if you empty your mind, uncomfortable emotions will surface. And they might. In fact, they almost certainly will. The noise in your mind is often a defense against deeper pain. When you remove the noise, you may find grief, anger, fear, regret. These are not pleasant, but they are necessary. If you never face these emotions, they will continue to drive your behavior from the shadows. They will sabotage your best efforts and keep you stuck in patterns that do not serve you. By emptying your mind, you give these emotions a chance to be seen, felt, and released. This is not weakness. It is the ultimate act of courage. To face yourself without distraction, without defense, and to say, I am ready to heal. The third fear is that if you empty your mind, you will lose your motivation. You will become lazy, complacent, satisfied with less. Again, this is false. True motivation does not come from a frantic, noisy mind. It comes from clarity of purpose. When you know what you want, when you can see your goal without the fog of 1,000 competing thoughts, your motivation becomes unstoppable. You are no longer pulled in a dozen directions. You are focused like a laser, and that focus is the source of real drive. Empty your mind and you will not lose your motivation. You will find it. The fourth fear is the fear of the unknown. If I let go of my thoughts, what will be left? This is perhaps the deepest fear of all, the fear of nothingness. But here is the truth. What remains when the thoughts are gone is not nothing. It is everything. It is the pure awareness that is your true self. It is the stillness from which all creativity, all insight, all wisdom flows. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who observes them. When you empty your mind, you do not disappear. You discover who you really are, beneath the noise, beneath the conditioning, beneath the fears that have run your life for so long. This is not emptiness as loss. It is emptiness as freedom. Now let us speak of practice. For knowledge without practice is useless. You can understand the theory of an empty mind and still live in chaos if you do not apply what you know. Every day, without exception, you must train your mind as an athlete trains the body. The athlete does not exercise once and expect to be fit forever. Neither can you meditate once or clear your mind once and expect lasting results. This is a daily discipline. Begin with a set time each morning. Before the demands of the day intrude, sit in a quiet place. Close your eyes. Focus on your breath. When thoughts arise, and they will, do not engage with them. Do not follow them into their stories. Simply notice them and return to the breath. This is the practice. Simple, but not easy. Your mind will rebel. It will try every trick to pull you back into thinking. It will tell you this is boring. It will remind you of urgent tasks. It will bring up old memories or future worries. These are the mind's defenses. Do not be fooled. Keep returning to the breath. Each time you do, you strengthen your ability to empty. Each time you resist the pull of distraction, you build mental muscle. Over time, you will find that you can enter stillness more quickly. You will find that the peace you cultivate in these morning sessions begins to spill over into the rest of your day. You become calmer in stressful situations. You react less and respond more. You see things more clearly because the fog has lifted. But do not limit your practice to the morning. Throughout the day, take moments to empty. When you feel overwhelmed, pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Let go of the tension in your body. Let go of the thoughts that are crowding your mind. Even 30 seconds of intentional stillness can reset your state. Make this a habit. Before an important meeting, empty. Before a difficult conversation, empty. Before making a decision, empty. You will be amazed at how much more effective you become when you approach life from a place of clarity rather than chaos. In the evening, take time to reflect and release. Let go of the day's events. Do not carry them into your sleep. Review what happened, extract any lessons, then consciously let it all go. This practice will improve your rest and ensure you wake renewed rather than burdened. Sleep is the body's natural reset. But if your mind is full of unfinished business, even sleep cannot restore you. Empty before you rest, and you will wake with energy instead of exhaustion. The path to an empty mind is walked step by step. There are no shortcuts, but every step brings rewards. More peace, more clarity, more power. These are not distant promises. They are the immediate fruits of daily practice. Begin now. Begin today. Do not wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is always now. Understand that emptying the mind is not a one-time event. It is a way of life. The master does not achieve emptiness and then move on. The master returns to emptiness again and again, knowing that the mind will fill up, that new worries and distractions will accumulate, that the work is never finished. This is not a burden. It is a practice, a discipline, a path. And those who walk it discover a richness that cannot be found in the noise. They discover presence, the ability to be fully here, fully engaged, fully alive in each moment. Most people are never truly present. Their bodies are in one place, but their minds are elsewhere, lost in the past or anxious about the future. They miss the beauty of now because they are too busy thinking about then or when. But the empty mind is the present mind. When you let go of the clutter, you arrive in the moment. And in the moment, life is vivid, immediate, real. This is where joy is found, not in achievements or possessions, but in presence. Not in the next thing, but in this thing, here, now. The empty mind also brings deeper connection. When you are not distracted by your own mental noise, you can truly listen to others. You can see them, hear them, understand them in ways that are impossible when your mind is full of your own concerns. Relationships deepen. Communication improves. Conflicts dissolve because you are no longer reacting from a place of defensiveness, but responding from a place of calm. This is the gift of emptiness. It transforms not just your inner life, but your outer life as well. People sense when you are truly present. They are drawn to it because it is so rare. They trust you more because they feel seen. They open up because you have created space for them. This is leadership. This is influence, not through manipulation or force, but through presence. The leader who can empty their mind is the leader who can hold space for others, who can stay calm in crisis, who can see clearly when others are lost in panic. This is the kind of leader the world needs. This is the kind of person you can become. But it starts within. It starts with the daily practice of emptying. It starts with the decision to reclaim your mind from the tyranny of endless thought. No one else can do this for you. No teacher, no book, no program can empty your mind on your behalf. The work is yours. The rewards are yours. The choice is yours. Make the choice today. Commit to the practice and watch as your life transforms from the inside out. The empty mind is not a weakness. It is the ultimate strength, the power to let go, the freedom to be still, the clarity to see what truly matters. This is what you are building. This is who you are becoming, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. There is a reason why the wise have always valued silence. In silence, the truth speaks. In noise, the truth is drowned. Most people are so addicted to noise that they cannot bear even a moment of silence. They fill every gap with chatter, every pause with distraction. And so they never hear the voice within, the voice that knows, the voice that guides, the voice that has been waiting patiently for them to stop and listen. When you empty your mind, you create the conditions for this voice to be heard. Call it intuition, call it wisdom, call it the deeper self. It does not matter what name you give it. What matters is that it exists, and it speaks only in stillness. How many times have you made a decision that felt wrong, only to realize later that you knew the right choice all along but ignored it? How many opportunities have you missed because you were too distracted to see them? How much suffering have you caused yourself and others because you acted from noise rather than clarity? These are the costs of a cluttered mind, and they are far greater than most realize. When you empty your mind, you stop making these costly mistakes. You start to hear the guidance that is always available. You start to see the opportunities that were always there. You start to live with an intelligence that transcends mere thinking. This is wisdom. Not the accumulation of facts, but the ability to know what is true and what is needed in each moment. Wisdom cannot be found in books, though books may point the way. It cannot be taught, though teachers may inspire the search. Wisdom is discovered in the silence of the empty mind. It is your birthright, waiting to be claimed. But you must create the space. You must quiet the noise. You must be willing to sit in the unknown and let the answers arise in their own time. This requires patience. The modern world hates patience. It wants everything now, instantly, without waiting. But some things cannot be rushed. The deepest insights, the truest guidance, the greatest wisdom, these come in their own time, and only to those who are willing to wait. Emptying the mind teaches patience. It teaches trust. It teaches you to let go of the need to force, to control, to make things happen on your schedule. And in that letting go, you discover a power greater than your own will, the power of alignment, the power of flow, the power of being in harmony with something larger than yourself. This is not surrender as weakness. It is surrender as strategy. When you stop fighting against the current, you can finally move with it. When you stop trying to fill every moment with effort, you allow grace to enter. The empty mind is the open mind, open to guidance, open to possibility, open to the unexpected blessings that cannot come when the cup is already full. The practice of emptying the mind will change you, not overnight, but over time. You will become calmer. You will become clearer. You will become more present, more patient, more powerful. But there is another change that is less obvious and more profound. You will become less attached. Attachment is the source of all suffering. Attachment to outcomes, to possessions, to people, to the way things should be. When you are attached, you are at the mercy of circumstance. If things go your way, you are happy. If they do not, you are miserable. Your peace depends on forces outside your control. But when you learn to empty your mind, you also learn to empty your attachments. You begin to hold things lightly. You still care. You still pursue your goals. You still love deeply. But you are no longer enslaved. You can enjoy what comes without being destroyed when it goes. This is freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom from the tyranny of wanting. The freedom to be at peace regardless of circumstance. This is the ultimate gift of the empty mind. It does not promise that life will be easy. It promises that you will be equal to whatever life brings. You will face challenges, but you will not be shattered by them. You will experience loss, but you will not be consumed by it. You will encounter obstacles, but you will not be stopped by them, because your peace does not depend on the world cooperating with your wishes. It comes from within, from the stillness you have cultivated, from the emptiness you have learned to embrace. This is the goal, not to escape life, but to engage it fully, without being owned by it. Not to become cold or indifferent, but to become so rooted in inner peace that nothing can shake you. The storms will come, they always do, but you will be the calm at the center. You will be the eye of the hurricane. While chaos swirls around you, you will remain still. This is mastery, and it is available to you, not through luck or talent, but through practice. Through the daily decision to empty your mind and face yourself without flinching. There is no limit to how far you can go on this path. Every day brings new depth. Every practice reveals new layers. The more you empty, the more you discover there is to release. And the more you release, the freer you become. This is a journey without end, but every step is its own reward. You do not have to wait for some distant destination to experience the benefits. They begin now. They grow with every breath, every moment of stillness, every act of letting go. Let us now speak of obstacles, for the path of the empty mind is not without resistance. The first obstacle is the habit of thinking. Your mind has been running for as long as you can remember. It does not know how to stop. When you sit in silence, it will fill the space with thought after thought, a relentless stream that seems impossible to slow. Do not be discouraged. This is normal. This is the mind doing what it has always done. Your job is not to stop the thoughts immediately. Your job is to notice them without following them, to observe the stream without being swept away. With practice, the stream will slow. The gaps between thoughts will widen. The stillness will grow. But at first, expect the noise, expect the resistance, and meet it with patience, not frustration. The second obstacle is distraction. Even when you set aside time to practice, the world will intrude. Sounds, sensations, memories, plans, everything will seem more urgent than sitting still. Your mind will offer 1,000 reasons to get up, to check something, to do something, anything but this. Recognize these distractions for what they are. The mind's last defense against your mastery. Do not give in. Return to the breath. Return to the stillness. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen your will. Every time you choose presence over avoidance, you move closer to freedom. The third obstacle is impatience. You will want results fast. You will sit for a few sessions and wonder why your mind is still noisy, why peace has not arrived. This is the trap. The empty mind is not a destination you reach once and stay. It is a practice you return to again and again. The results come not from a single session, but from the accumulation of sessions over weeks, months, years. Trust the process. Trust that every moment of practice is building something, even when you cannot see it. The fourth obstacle is doubt. Your mind will tell you this is pointless. It will mock your efforts. It will remind you of times you failed before. Doubt is the voice of fear. It does not want you to change because change is uncertain, but you must push through. Let the doubt come. Acknowledge it, and then return to the practice anyway. Do not argue with doubt. Do not try to convince yourself it is wrong. Simply act in spite of it. Action is the answer to doubt. When you show up day after day, regardless of how you feel, doubt loses its power. It cannot survive in the face of consistent effort. The fifth obstacle is expectation. You will expect emptiness to feel a certain way. You will expect peace to look like the images in your mind. And when your experience does not match your expectation, you will think you are failing. Let go of expectation. Let go of how you think it should be. Accept what is. Accept the noise, the resistance, the wandering mind. Accept it all and keep practicing. Acceptance is not defeat. It is the doorway to deeper emptiness. You have been given tools. You have been given understanding. But knowledge without action is empty in the wrong way. The true test is not what you know, but what you do. Will you take what you have learned and apply it? Will you commit to the daily practice? Will you face the obstacles and push through them? Or will you close this chapter and return to the noise, letting the lessons fade, the inspiration die, the opportunity pass? The choice is yours. No one can make it for you. No one can empty your mind on your behalf. This is your work. This is your path. This is your chance to reclaim the peace and clarity that are your birthright. The world will not support you in this. The world profits from your distraction. The world wants you busy, scattered, too overwhelmed to question, too exhausted to resist. But you are not a slave to the world. You are a sovereign being with the power to choose your own inner state. Exercise that power. Refuse to let the noise win. Refuse to let your mind run wild and ruin your peace. Take control. Start today. Start now. Sit down. Close your eyes. Breathe. Let go. The practice is simple. The results are profound. A life of clarity awaits. A life of presence. A life of power rooted not in external achievement, but in inner mastery. This is the life you were meant to live. This is the potential that lies dormant in you, waiting to be awakened. Empty your mind and awaken. Empty your mind and discover who you really are, beneath the layers of conditioning, beneath the habits of fear, beneath the endless stream of thought that has hidden your true self from view. You are more than your thoughts. You are more than your worries. You are more than the noise. You are the stillness itself. You are the silence from which all sound arises and to which all sound returns. When you know this, not just as an idea but as a lived experience, everything changes. Fear loses its grip. Anxiety fades. Confusion clears. And what remains is a peace so deep, so unshakable, that nothing in the world can disturb it. This is not fantasy. This is not exaggeration. This is the testimony of everyone who has walked this path before you. The sages, the masters, the ordinary people who made the extraordinary choice to empty their minds and find their true selves. They were not special. They were not born with abilities you lack. They simply decided to do the work. And you can decide the same. Decide now. Commit now. The practice awaits. The silence is calling. All you have to do is answer. There comes a point in every journey when words must give way to action. You have been given the map. Now you must walk the territory. No more excuses. No more waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, the right mood. The right time is now. The right circumstance is wherever you are. The right mood is irrelevant. The disciplined mind does not wait for motivation. It creates motivation through action. Sit down, even when you do not feel like it. Close your eyes, even when your mind screams for distraction. Breathe, even when every part of you wants to be anywhere but here. This is the work. This is the practice. And it is available to you in every moment, regardless of how you feel. Your feelings are not your master. They are passing visitors. Let them come. Let them go. But do not let them dictate your actions. The empty mind is achieved not by those who feel ready, but by those who act regardless. You will have good days and bad days. Days when the stillness comes easily and days when the noise seems unconquerable. Do not judge your progress by individual sessions. Judge it by weeks and months. The trend matters more than the moment. If you keep showing up, The trend will be upward. You will get better. The stillness will deepen. The peace will grow. But only if you persist. Consistency is the key. A few minutes every day is worth more than an hour once a week. The mind responds to regularity. It learns through repetition. Build the habit, and the habit will build you. Make it non-negotiable. Like brushing your teeth, like eating, like sleeping. This is mental hygiene. This is the maintenance your mind requires to function at its best. Do not neglect it. Do not skip it because you are busy or tired or distracted. These are the moments when you need it most. The busier you are, the more you need the stillness. The more stressed you feel, the more you need to empty. This is counterintuitive but true. The times when you think you cannot afford to practice are the times when the practice will save you. Trust this. Test it. See for yourself how even a few minutes of intentional stillness can transform a chaotic day. The empty mind is not a retreat from life. It is the preparation for life. It is the foundation that allows you to engage fully without being overwhelmed. The warrior sharpens his sword before battle, not during. You must sharpen your mind before the demands come, so you are ready to meet them with clarity and strength. As you progress on this path, you will notice changes not just in yourself, but in how others respond to you. People will sense something different. They will not always be able to name it, but they will feel it. A calm presence, a grounded energy, a clarity that stands out in a world of confusion. You will become a source of stability for those around you. In moments of crisis, they will look to you. In times of doubt, they will seek your counsel. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have something more valuable. The ability to remain still when everything else is in motion. This is influence. This is leadership in its purest form. Not the leadership of titles or positions, but the leadership of presence. The leader who can empty their mind can also empty a room of panic. They can bring calm to chaos, clarity to confusion, hope to despair. This is a gift you can give to the world, but first you must give it to yourself. First you must do the work. First you must empty your own mind before you can help others empty theirs. The path starts alone, in the quiet moments of daily practice. It starts in the silence, where no one sees your effort, where no one applauds your discipline, but what you build in secret will eventually become visible. The inner transformation will manifest in outer results. Your decisions will improve. Your relationships will deepen. Your achievements will multiply, not because you are trying harder, but because you are thinking clearer, because you are no longer sabotaged by a mind full of noise, because you have created the conditions for your best self to emerge. This is the promise of the empty mind, a life lived from clarity rather than confusion, a life of response rather than reaction, a life of purpose rather than drift. It will not happen by accident. It will not happen by wishing. It will happen by practice, by discipline, by the daily choice to sit in silence and let go of everything that does not serve you. The path is simple, but it is not easy. It requires courage to face yourself. It requires persistence to keep going when results are slow. It requires faith to trust the process when doubt is loud. But these are qualities you already possess. They are waiting to be developed. And every time you practice, you develop them. You become braver. You become more persistent. You become more faithful. The practice shapes you as much as you shape the practice. We are nearing the end of these words, but you are only at the beginning of your journey. What lies ahead is not a destination, but a continuous unfolding. The empty mind is not a state you achieve and then preserve like a trophy. It is a living practice that deepens with every session, every day, every year. There is no limit to how clear you can become, no ceiling on the peace you can attain, no end point to the wisdom that awaits. The path stretches on forever, and that is part of its beauty. You will never be bored. You will never master it completely. There will always be more to release, more to discover, more to become. This is what makes it a path worth walking. Not the promise of arrival, but the richness of the journey itself. Along the way, you will face tests, moments when life seems determined to fill your mind with chaos, tragedies, disappointments, betrayals, failures. These are not interruptions to your practice. They are the practice. The real work is not done on the cushion in the morning. It is done in the heat of life, when everything in you wants to react, to panic, to fill your mind with noise. In these moments, you will have a choice. Revert to old patterns or apply what you have learned. Return to chaos or choose stillness. The more you practice in the quiet times, the more equipped you will be for the turbulent times. But ultimately, the test is passed or failed in the moment of pressure. This is why daily practice is so important. You are not just building a skill, you are building a reflex, a default mode, a way of being that can withstand the storms without collapsing. The empty mind becomes your shelter, your fortress, your unshakable ground. When the world trembles, you remain still. When others panic, you respond. When chaos threatens, you are the calm. This is mastery, and it is yours for the taking, but only if you commit, only if you practice, only if you make the choice, again and again, to empty rather than fill, to release rather than cling, to be still rather than react. The choice is always yours. It is yours today, it is yours tomorrow. It is yours in every moment for the rest of your life. Make it wisely. Make it consistently. Make it with the full understanding that your entire future depends on what happens in the space between your ears. This is your final charge. Take what you have learned and live it. Do not let these words become just another piece of information that passes through your mind and is forgotten. Let them sink deep. Let them change you. Let them become the foundation of a new way of being. You have been given a map to freedom. You have been shown the door to peace. Now walk through it. Now do the work. Now become the person you are meant to be. The person with a mind so clear that nothing can cloud it. A presence so calm that nothing can shake it. A will so strong that nothing can break it. This person exists within you. They are waiting. They have always been waiting. Waiting for you to empty the noise and discover the silence where they live. Do not make them wait any longer. Start today. Start now. One breath, one moment, one choice. Empty your mind and begin the greatest adventure of your life, the adventure of becoming who you really are. There is no greater achievement, there is no greater wealth, there is no greater power than the power of an empty mind. A mind that has let go of what does not serve it. A mind that is free to focus on what truly matters. A mind that is at peace regardless of circumstance. This is your birthright. This is your potential. This is your destiny if you choose to claim it. The world needs people who have done this work. People who can think clearly in an age of confusion. People who can remain calm in an age of chaos. People who can lead not through force, but through presence. Be one of these people, not for recognition, not for reward, but because it is the right way to live, because anything less is a betrayal of your potential, because the world is crying out for those who have mastered themselves. You have been called. The question is whether you will answer. The silence is waiting. The stillness is calling. Empty your mind and step into the life you were always meant to live. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Now go, practice, transform, become. But before you go, let us engrave a few final truths so deeply into your mind that they cannot be shaken. The empty mind is not a technique you apply when convenient. It is a way of life you embody completely. It is the lens through which you see every challenge, every relationship, every moment. When you live from this place, everything changes. Problems that once seemed overwhelming reveal themselves as opportunities. Conflicts that once consumed you dissolve before they begin. Decisions that once paralyzed you become clear and simple. This is not magic. It is the natural result of a mind freed from its own clutter. You were never meant to carry the weight of endless worry. You were never designed to replay every failure and imagine every disaster. These are habits, nothing more. And habits can be broken. They can be replaced with new patterns, new defaults, new ways of being. The empty mind is your natural state. The noise is the intruder. Remember this when the practice feels hard. You are not trying to achieve something artificial. You are returning to something real, something that has always been there, waiting beneath the layers of conditioning and fear. Every great teacher has pointed to this truth. Every tradition of wisdom has affirmed it. The answers you seek are not outside you, they are within. But they can only be heard in the silence. They can only be seen when the fog of thought has cleared. This is why emptying the mind is so essential, not because it is a pleasant technique, but because it is the doorway to everything that matters: peace, clarity, purpose, wisdom, connection, joy. All of these live in the stillness. All of these are accessed through the practice of letting go. Consider the alternative: a life lived entirely in the noise. A mind that never rests, never clears, never finds peace. This is the reality for most people. They go through their days exhausted by their own thinking. They lie awake at night, tortured by worries that have no solution. They miss the beauty of the present because they are trapped in the past or anxious about the future. They never know the deep satisfaction of a mind at rest. They never experience the clarity that comes from true stillness. They never discover who they really are beneath the endless chatter. This is not a life. This is an existence, a slow burning out of potential, a gradual surrender to chaos. And it is completely unnecessary, because the tools to escape are available to everyone. The practice is simple. The path is clear. All that is required is the decision to begin and the discipline to continue. You have that decision in front of you now. You have been given everything you need. The question is what you will do with it. Will you take the easy path and return to the noise? Will you let these words fade like so many others before them? Or will you make a different choice? Will you commit to the practice? Will you do the daily work of emptying? Will you face the discomfort, push through the resistance, and claim the peace that is your birthright? No one can answer for you. No one can walk this path on your behalf. The choice is yours alone, and it is a choice you will make not once, but every day, every moment, for the rest of your life. Every time you sit in silence, you choose. Every time you return to the breath, you choose. Every time you let go of a thought that does not serve you, you choose. These small choices accumulate. They compound. They build something that cannot be seen in a single session, but becomes unmistakable over time. The person you will become through this practice is beyond what you can imagine now. Calmer, clearer, stronger, more present, more peaceful, more powerful. Not powerful in the way the world defines power. Not the power to dominate or control, but the power to remain unshaken. The power to respond rather than react. The power to be at peace regardless of circumstance. This is true power, and it is available to you. It is waiting for you in the silence. Every moment of stillness brings you closer. Every breath you take with awareness builds the foundation. Every thought you release makes room for something better. This is the work of a lifetime, but it is work that pays dividends from the very first day. You do not have to wait years to feel the benefits. They begin immediately. The first session may be difficult. The mind may race. The thoughts may seem endless. But even in that struggle, you are changing. You are building awareness. You are creating distance between yourself and your thoughts. You are planting seeds that will grow into a forest of peace. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that the wisdom of ages is not wrong, that the countless souls who have walked this path before you were not deceived. They found what they were looking for, and so will you. The empty mind is not a myth. It is not reserved for monks or mystics. It is your inheritance. It belongs to you as surely as your heartbeat, as surely as your breath. All you must do is claim it. All you must do is practice. All you must do is begin. So here is your final instruction. Simple, clear, uncompromising. Stop waiting. Stop preparing. Stop reading about what others have done and start doing it yourself. Close whatever you are looking at. Find a quiet place. Sit down. Close your eyes. Breathe. Let go. That is all. That is the beginning. That is the practice that will change your life. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. This moment is the only moment you ever have. This breath is the only breath that matters. Stop living in the future. Stop clinging to the past. Be here. Be now. Be still. And in that stillness, discover what you have been searching for all along. Not something new, something ancient. Not something foreign, something that has always been yours. The peace that passes understanding, the clarity that cuts through confusion, the silence that speaks louder than words. This is what awaits you. This is what you can have. But only if you do the work. Only if you empty the noise. Only if you return again and again to the practice that sets you free. The path is open. The door is unlocked. The silence is calling. All that remains is for you to answer. Answer with your actions. Answer with your commitment. Answer with your life. Empty your mind. Claim your peace. Become who you were always meant to be. The world is waiting for you, and so is your true self. Now rise. Now begin. Now live as one who has learned the greatest secret of all, that in emptiness there is everything, that in silence there is truth, that in letting go there is freedom beyond measure. This is your destiny. This is your path. This is your moment. Do not waste it. Go forward into the silence and never look back. Know this with absolute certainty. The journey you are about to begin is the most important journey you will ever take. It is more valuable than any degree you could earn, more profitable than any investment you could make, more rewarding than any achievement the world could offer, because this journey leads to the only place where true fulfillment exists. Within, the external world will always disappoint you if you depend on it for peace. Circumstances change, people leave, possessions decay, fortunes rise and fall, but the peace of the empty mind is constant. It does not depend on what you have or what you achieve. It does not require the approval of others or the cooperation of events. It is yours, unconditionally, whenever you choose to claim it through practice. This is wealth that cannot be stolen. This is security that cannot be shaken. This is freedom that cannot be taken away. No king, no tyrant, no disaster can reach into your mind and disturb your stillness unless you allow it. When you master the art of emptying, you become untouchable. Not because you are hard or cold, but because your peace comes from within, not from without. Circumstances may still challenge you. Life will still test you, but you will meet every test from a place of strength, a place of calm, a place of readiness that comes only from a mind that knows how to be still. Let this truth settle into your bones. The practice of emptying is not separate from the rest of your life. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Your success in work, in relationships, in health, in every area that matters depends on the clarity of your mind. A confused mind makes confused decisions. An anxious mind creates anxious outcomes. A cluttered mind attracts cluttered circumstances. But a clear mind, An empty mind, a still mind, creates order out of chaos, opportunity out of challenge, victory out of defeat. This is the law. It cannot be escaped. It can only be used. Use it in your favor. Use the practice to empty your mind daily, and watch as every area of your life begins to transform, not through force, but through alignment. Not through struggle, but through surrender to stillness. The universe responds to clarity. It rewards those who can see without the fog of endless thought. It opens doors for those who approach with a calm presence. It grants wisdom to those who are quiet enough to hear. Become one of those people. Become the master of your own mind. Become the person who no longer fears silence but embraces it, who no longer runs from stillness but seeks it out, who no longer lives at the mercy of thoughts but commands them with quiet authority. This is your calling. This is your potential. This is what awaits on the other side of your commitment to practice. The empty mind is not a destination you reach. It is a home you return to. And once you know the way, you can never truly be lost again. Now go. The silence is waiting. Your true self is waiting. Your greatest life is waiting. Empty your mind and claim what has always been yours.